This is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and I am now live on YouTube, and I am going to, okay, we're live and ready to go. This is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste. I'm an astrologer, coach, and intuitive, and today I'm going to talk to you about the beautiful big Pisces full moon that's coming up this Monday, September 20th. And I am calling this moon Protecting Treasure. Oh, that's not the right. Okay, so the Pisces full moon is at 28 degrees of Pisces. Oops, have to fix that. And it's on Monday. So I am a Taurus sun, Aries moon, and Cancer rising. I love to read and love flat-faced dogs. And I have over 20 years, over 25 actually years of success at Fortune 500 companies in business development roles. And I use the moon cycles to retire early to pursue my passion and my purpose as an astrologer, helping people to expand their lives, understand their cosmic blueprints, and find ways to move their goals forward faster. It's Mercury retrograde, so I'm just going to roll with any misstatements. Okay, great. So I absolutely love this quote. The riches you hold in your hands are inferior to the treasures you store in your heart. And I am calling this protecting treasure. So this full moon is going to be on the Virgo Pisces axis with the sun in Virgo. And the sun is all about, when we're talking about, our internal and external worlds, our conscious versus our unconscious. The sun is the conscious. It's about our identity, our essence, our outward expression. And it's in the sign of Virgo, which is mutable earth. And Virgo rules the sixth house of daily life and health. Actually, things that go wrong with our health is the sixth house. The first house is actually our vitality. So that's an important thing to remember when we're talking about the sixth house. It's all about, physical health. Virgo is practicality. Precision is a great Virgo word. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and it's all about taking information in. Mercury rules the intellect, being able to categorize it, sort it, and find analyze it in order to systematize it. Virgo is all about building organization and systems. And this Virgo season has been so fabulous for that. It's also helpful is also a key word for Virgo, and it's making the mundane sacred is a wonderful thing. Virgo's also the priestess, and the natural path, like taking herbs and things and making things in order to help people live healthier and more graceful lives is wonderful to think of with this energy. Some shadow sides are perfectionistic, being a perfectionist, or overly critical, using that intellect for unhealthy things like being overly critical or perfectionistic, or, and that criticality can go to the self as well as others. So the moon ruling our subconscious lives is in the watery sign of Pisces. Pisces rules our emotions, not Pisces, the moon. I'm tired, clearly. The moon rules our emotion instincts. It speaks about our needs and our habits and our behaviors, the things we do without thinking. And in the sign of Pisces, I really like to think about the Virgo Pisces axis as Virgo being physical health, Pisces being mental health, because it rules the 12th house of secrets and the mysticism and self-undoing. So great words to think about with Pisces energy are forgiveness, The dreamer is a great archetype. Imagination, being people who have strong Pisces signatures are so imaginative and often compassionate. There's this mystical energy around it. It's, the two fishes swimming together, swimming together, from opposite ways is the imagery of Pisces. And you can really think about the vastness of the ocean with this energy. Some shadows are escapism through, you can escape through the imagination or substances, things like that. Also paranoia, taking the imagination to unhealthy levels as well. Pisces is co-ruled by the planets Jupiter and Neptune, the planet of illusions and delusions. So each of the moon phases is part of a larger family where we have a new moon, and it's called the lunar gestational family. A new moon, 9 months later, there's a first quarter. 9 months after that, full moon. 9 months after that, last quarter. And they all are close to the same degree. So typically your chart is being activated at the same place with these different cycles every 9 months. And there tends to be like these larger stories of our lives. I think it's fascinating that this one, it actually goes across signs because it's, so close to the beginning of Aries and the end of Pisces. So the new moon was actually at 4 degrees of Aries back in 2020. And end of March 2020 is when the world realized we were having this pandemic. We went into lockdown, many of us in the United States. So this really started that change of our life with social restrictions. One thing that really just jumps out at me is that we really realized how our relationship with our personal power over this last year and a half. And now that we're at the full moon at near the last degrees of Pisces, understanding, how little power we have ourselves when, there's forces outside of ourselves raging like a pandemic that we just really don't have control over. And there's no other choice but to surrender, really. I really like the myth of Sisyphus when thinking about this. And it's so interesting because Sisyphus is active at this full moon. The asteroid Vesta will be very close to Sisyphus. And Sisyphus was punished by the gods, a Greek myth about how he was forced, I can't remember what he did, but he was forced to push a rock up to the top of a hill. And then as he got to the summit, it would just roll right back down. And that was his punishment for the rest of his life, to just, doing this grinding work and then realizing you've gotten nowhere. You thought you were done. And multiple times through this pandemic, we thought, okay, we're done. The cases are going down. We're coming out of restrictions. We're able to move freely. And then, there we are back again. And then there's people who have chosen not to do any restrictions. I was just reading about how at this new moon, the state of Idaho is now in a crisis with their hospital system, where they're going to be deciding who lives or dies based on whether their chances of survival, due to the fact that they have run out of beds and things. So whether you have a car accident, COVID, whatever, you could potentially be just like left in a hallway. Yeah, it's just tragic. So anyway, that's a real diversion. But anyway, Pisces rules the sign of Pisces rules this illness, this type of, respiratory illness. So fascinating that this is the full moon relating back to when we started this cycle. So really great opportunity to evaluate how you've handled, in particular, the restrictions on your personal power. And are you Sisyphus? Are you trying to just push through, push up the hill, or have you Piscean surrendered? Where is the chart? Okay, this is Mercury retrograde. What in the world? Let me hit escape. The chart is gone. I hope it's coming back. Otherwise, I'll have to just do. This is bizarre. Okay. Mercury retrograde is no joke. I mean, the minute it went into, not the minute, but the day Mercury moved into Libra, it hasn't even started the retrograde. We're in the retrograde period right now, but as soon as Mercury went into Pisces, Libra, I started having these weird computer problems and phone problems and iPad problems. And anyway, so far nothing is broken permanently, so I'm just going to be thankful about that. So here is, thankfully we're back with the chart. And yeah, so this is the chart of this full moon on Monday. And it's really like, I love it. There's a lot of wonderful, soft, like great energy to this. Yeah, my favorite thing about it is this grand trine in air. So what we have here is we have Mars in Libra in a trine with Saturn in Aquarius, and in a trine with the North Node in Gemini. So all three of the air signs have planets that are connected by close degree. And this is just wonderful because trines are easy at ease. So there is an ease with Mars, how we take action, Saturn, how we build structures, or how we build structures, how we manifest things. Saturn is the ultimate, it's not the ultimate manifest, but Saturn is about hard work bringing success. And then the North Node is karmically where we're going to. So this, I love this. I feel like, focused, disciplined, and deliberate energy is available to get us to our goals. And they're air signs. Air signs are about communications, about how people interact with each other. And yeah, with Mars and Libra, think about, the collaboration. It's great energy for teams, and Saturn in Aquarius is also groups. So how we can partner together in groups in order to achieve goals is one of the things we can think about with this energy. Yeah. And as I mentioned, the Mercury retrograde period, the official retrograde is, I believe, the 27th of September to October 18th. And it'll retrograde at 25 degrees of Libra and go back to 10 and then come back this way. And it's just from our perspective on Earth. But you see Mercury's at 23, so it's getting really close to that 25-degree mark. And what happens is, from our perspective on Earth, Mercury looks like it's slowing down, then it stops in what's called a stationing period, and then it looks like it's going backwards. And it's an optical illusion, but it is Mercury rules electronics, it rules schedules, it rules all these things where people will get mixed up about the time they're supposed to be someplace, or you say something and that's not what the other person heard, and there's this miscommunication. And yeah, it's a really important time to slow down, review, revisit all these RE words, always reread your communications, because mistakes are it's on brand for Mercury retrograde. So anyway, there's technology disruptions. We just saw one, which are possible, and there can be mix-ups, especially around schedules and things. So take extra care with communication. Now, one of the harder aspects in this is Mercury square Pluto, especially. This is on the day of the retrograde. Mercury will be squaring Pluto. And so that kind of is part of the signature with this. Now, Eris is a dwarf planet that was discovered more recently, but Eris was the goddess of chaos. And is often, when she's active, there's often something about people being predators towards children or women, especially. Yeah, that is often some kind of signature with that. So we may see some stories. It's not this Eris square Pluto. That's when we see these stories, or this chaotic energy. But the fact that Mercury is opposite Eris and they both square Pluto makes me very concerned about, there's the potential for, in our own lives, for intellectual power struggles that lead to harmful communications. Think of the War of the Roses, that movie with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas and Danny DeVito. That was a great movie back from, I don't know when, the 90s or something. But yeah, where it was just this, yeah, think of that. Perfect for this T square. So really, the goal is with T squares, so the best way to manage this energy of these hard aspects is to look towards the opposite of the apex. So both Eris and Mercury are squaring Pluto. Opposite is Cancer. So Cancer energy is, just try to be nurturing towards the person you're dealing with. This especially, I think, could be an issue in relationships. Try to come with empathy and love and look to heal rather than hurt. Compassion. Yeah, have compassion. Be sensitive to others. Yeah, I think that's the best way to deal with this energy rather than, start World War III. Okay. That's the toughest aspect. Now, a nice thing is that, okay, so both Mars and Venus are in their signs of detriment. What that means is they're in signs that they're very uncomfortable being in. So Mars likes to be in Aries and Scorpio. Aries is the ram. It's like just taking action. Mars is the planet of action, of passion, of fighting, and wants to just be able to that primal energy to move forward. Well, it's in the sign of Libra, which is about collaboration. Venus ruled Libra, collaboration, diplomacy. Mars does not like diplomacy. So it has to react and act differently in this sign. Well, Venus is in Scorpio. Well, Venus is at home in Taurus, which is about simplicity and just honoring the senses and enjoying simple things in life. And Scorpio is about death and decay and intensity and that life, death, resurrection cycle. So Venus has to learn how to react or work differently in this sign because, that's not very Venusian. So anyway, they are in what's called mutual reception because they're in each other's sign. So they can do Freaky Friday, flip-flop, Venus in Libra, Mars in Scorpio. And so you can figure out ways to use this energy to have the desire, will, and strategy to have harmonious relationships. So think about that. Yeah, I love Mars and Scorpio. That's the surgeon. Yeah, and Venus and Libra is the diplomat. So yeah, you can really merge these two energies nicely, especially if you're, really working to get things accomplished with, I don't know, things that are important, that take strategy, that take thinking, that takes planning, and that sort of thing. Okay, I am like swimming in Pisces land, and the moon's not even in Pisces with this. Apologies. Yeah, I guess talking about Pisces is good enough. Okay. So anyway, there's also this yod, and yods are it's an aspect that sometimes you don't even notice, but they can be very powerful. People who have them in their birth charts often feel like their lives have a fated quality to them. But Venus in Scorpio is at the apex. They're all at 11. I love the number 11. It's one of those master numbers. So Venus in Scorpio is at the apex. Then Ceres, the asteroid of nurturing, mothering, that sort of thing, is part of the base with Chiron, the wounded healer. So what this is to me is, Chiron's in Aries. Think about the self. Ceres is in Gemini. So think about like communication, and Venus is in Scorpio, the intensity, but Venus has the ability to, Freaky Friday with Venus in Libra. So yeah, there's really an invitation for profound healing with this, or profound hurting with the self and in relationship. So yeah, this is an interesting energy that that you really could have some real breakthroughs with your partner with this energy, to get real. The other thing Venus is doing, she's conjunct the asteroid Toro, which is Toro, if you think about the bull with the Spanish bullfighters, and it's opposite Uranus. So it's important to protect your boundaries, as well as be strategic and stand up against bullies, is what comes to me with this. So yeah, with Pisces energy, boundaries can get very porous, but remember to protect them. Okay, so the Sabian symbol for this is degree is light breaks into many colors as it passes through a prism. I just love this. This is so perfect for Virgo season to have this, because yeah, Virgo is all about like separating the wheat from the chaff, and the Sabian symbols were channeled by a clairvoyant under a tree with Mark Edmund Jones's famous astrologer, where she went through Elsie Wheeler went through every single degree of the zodiac and channeled an image. And this was the image for 29 Pisces. You always read one up. Okay. And Lynda Hill wrote this amazing book called The Sabian Oracle, where she outlined each of them, gave her thoughts of what the oracle meant, some amazing quotes and whatnot. But I love this. It's about breaking the situation down into simpler components. So that simplicity, yes, in order to see the full picture. Even though there are complex things that need to be broken down into their elemental parts, it's not as difficult as it might seem. This is vital to success and will lead to greater understanding of the relationship. This is such a lovely mix of the Virgo and the Pisces. Yeah, just be careful not to overanalyze a shadow of Virgo and then losing the joy that's inherent. Now, also what's happening is that Mercury is trine Jupiter. So there is an opportunity for joyful communication, or joyfully using your mind for things with this. So it's encouraging us to take a single vision and develop it into many possible streams, and color may have a part to play. Yeah, hang a crystal in the window to attract the rays. So I really think for your new moon, your full moon ritual, having a crystal there that really speaks to you about these themes would be ideal. Yeah, I thought it was interesting that rainbows, there have been so many storms. After the storm comes the rainbow. I know that in Louisiana, I think it is right now, there's an awful storm. Side effects, there's all this, back and forth about the vaccine mandates, things like that. That really jumps out at me. Will there be some news around anything like that? And just about like opportunities are endless, and consider the many facets of a situation, and like don't just look at the surface. Take the care to look to see what really is coming through. Yeah, laboratory tests also speaks to yeah, what we're going through. And yeah, triangles. Pluto's all about triangulation, and the fact that Pluto's at this apex of the T square with both squaring Eris and Mercury, them opposing. Yeah, just very interesting. Find these Sabian symbols so relevant. It's really great to look at for your, especially your sun, moon, rising, but all your planets, and maybe you can see something about the mythology of your life with them. Okay, so now we're going to get into what it means by side, and hopefully I'll get it together. Okay, so let's do it this way. So if you are a Pisces, this full moon is in your first house. And full moons are a time to think about, celebrating any wins, releasing what no longer serves you. Pisces energy is all about thinking about how you can have more compassion in things, how you can surrender to what you can't control. And so you're thinking about this for you, your vitality, yourself, your first house. And the sun is shining in the house of your partnership. So your spouse also could be a business partner, BFF, something, anything like that. So think about that axis, but especially how you can let go of things. Okay, and I'm going to pull a card. So Pisces, your card is Co-Create. This is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed is the deck. So Co-Create is all about manifestation. Neptune is the ultimate manifestor. You've got to be able to dream it, to believe it. So think about, over this last 18 months, what have you had to let go of that you wanted to manifest? And how have you made changes about how what you consider successful and what you bring into the world? Oh, I like that. Okay, now we're going to do Aquarius is about the second house of money, possessions, values, skills, and things like that. So yeah, so Aquarius, what have you had to let go of in terms of these areas? And Aquarius is, you've been going through it because Saturn's in your sign, and Saturn can bring restriction. Now, Saturn is not just the Lord of karma, where you can have karmatic events happening, like, in the news, this guy, his name is Murtaugh or something. He's from South Carolina. This story is bonkers about how his wife and son got murdered and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, he's dealing with Saturnian stuff. Anyway, that is really a train of thought that really went sideways. But anyway, let's pull a card for you to think about how, how have your values changed? What have you had to release in that? If you've had to release like income sources or such. Yeah, this is a time for reflection. Oh, so the card I pulled for you is Treasure Island. So think about and this is a protecting treasure. Think about, what do you treasure? How has that changed? What have you released about what you consider to be abundance in this life? I like that. Okay, Capricorn, it's third house of siblings, networking, your local community. Capricorn, release. So the card is higher power and protection. So Capricorn, is a lot of times Capricorn, not always, but often are focused on achievement. And we've all had to let achievement sit in the back seat. And when I think of third house, I think about like keeping up with the Joneses kind of stuff. Have you had to release stuff around that concept of comparing yourself to your neighbors or, your social your nearby, social group or whatever. Think about that. How have you learned it's really a call, that card, to think about how you can trust your higher power to know, what's best for you. And the fourth house is for Sagittarius. And this is about home, parents, roots, your private self. This is about your foundations. And so Sagittarius, you've had the South Node going through your sign. So you've come up against some stuff over the last year plus around, you've probably had an opportunity to get a mirror facing you about your shadow side and think about how you've had to let go of certain things. But to the sea is about trusting. And oftentimes Sagittarius has a very optimistic view of life because your sign is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of abundance. So think about how you can release and let go. Yeah, I like that for fat Sagittarius. Okay, Scorpio. This is nice. Well, the fifth house of dating and creativity and the things you create for joy, children, things like that. Think about how you can release any preconceived notions around this area, or release any restrictions you put on yourself to enjoy the things you can create in life. Oh, and how wonderful. This is the second chances card. So yeah, think about how you can release that, this is gone forever. Know that there's second chances. Oh, what lovely, lovely, lovely messages for each of the signs. Okay, now we're here at Libra. Libra, Mercury's going retrograde in your sign. And you can think about your sun and your rising, not just your sun. Yeah, you're gonna really have an opportunity to be reflecting more than anyone as this happens. But Treasure Island is your card as well. So yeah, think about I said this for another card. Think about what you thought was abundance for relationships. How have you had to let go? Partnering is so important to you, and how you had to adjust and let go of things with no matter how good your partnership was before the pandemic, it has probably experienced some challenges, and you may have had to reflect or change your thoughts on abundance. But this gives you an opportunity to reflect, what do you consider treasure? Yeah. How has that changed? Oh, Virgo, a change in the wind and protection. So this is a Uranus card. And this is really about letting go of perfectionism, I feel like, for Virgo, and knowing that stuff just happens. Sometimes bad things happen. Sometimes we mess up, and letting go of all that Virgo stuff. Sorry. This is the seventh house for Virgo. Yeah, same message, but letting go of things, how you, especially in relationship to your partnership, if you've snapped or anything like that. Yeah, forgive yourself. Pisces about forgiveness. And sorry, I don't think I said Libra, it was the sixth house of daily life. Yeah. About how you and your partner, daily life changed. Okay. Oh, I should have taken a nap before I did this. Eighth house is for Leo. Yes, Leo, it's in a real great time for you to examine the basement and the deep psychological processes. And this eighth house, we talk about, sex, death, other people's money, taxes, but it's really about shared resources and psychological stuff. And this is community in protection. So for me, Leo, it speaks about really letting go of your feeling needed to be acceptance in community. Sometimes you're in a community that is not healthy for you, or that you need to let go of, or if you spend way too much on time on social media. I am watching this program with Nicole Kidman called Nine Perfect Strangers, and one of the characters like could barely let go of her phone because she spent so much time on social media and she was so wrapped up in that outside validation. So to me, this is like, how can you release that and focus in more on your internal self-worth? Find your treasure within. Yes. Okay. And then ninth house is Cancer. Yeah. Exchanging gifts. Yeah. In protection. So Cancer is all about taking care of others, often nurturing people. This is about letting go in some ways and letting other people nurture you. Now it's the ninth house of higher learning, publishing, philosophy, like letting go of the philosophy that you need to be the caretaker for everyone. Let other people take you. That's what I think that means. Okay, and the 10th house is Gemini. Yes, Gemini is Yang. So in the 10th house of like your career, your public persona, yeah, Gemini, think about Yang is all about movement and movement forward and movement outward. And yeah, sometimes Gemini, you can get so detached that you don't take time to look within. So this is a great opportunity to think about that. Think about, yeah, have you taken time to sit with yourself and go within, and what do you need to forgive? What do you need to release? Especially about your achievements and stuff. Yeah, just for some inward reflection. Okay, Taurus. That's me. Okay, it's 11th house of friends and social groups and stuff like that. And you're between worlds, a time of transition. And this is all of us who are Tauruses, because Uranus is in our sign, like really stirring things up. Identity transformations. Uranus is the great awakener, bringing sudden events, seismic shifts. A lot of Tauruses are experiencing. Taurus is fixed earth. So all this change has been very uncomfortable for a lot of Tauruses. But it's just a reminder that, figuring out how you can release any resistance to knowing that you're in a time of change when nothing is certain, and around your hopes and dreams. The 11th house, when you have a full moon in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, really think about, how your perspective has changed and what you can release. Okay, let's do last but not least, Aries. Aries is just breathe. Yeah, this is in the 12th house. And I really think of the 12th house as mental health, as well as, self-undoing and secrets and mysticism, all that stuff. So really think about how you can release and let go and take care of your mental health, and doing some relaxation and breathing exercises is what I'd like for you to do. Okay, as part of your full moon ritual. So anyway, really recommend you have some kind of full moon ritual where you just take some time to sit with yourself, contemplate where you are right now, bring in all the elements, fire, air, earth, and water, light a candle, have some crystal. I really recommend a crystal for this one. Yeah, and think about, what do you want? Pick your crystal ball. What do you want to bring in? Do you feel like you need more protection, more forgiveness, more whatever? If you don't have the crystal, just Google it and print out a picture. Yeah. Air, do some journaling. I think journaling is so helpful, where you just set a timer for 10 minutes, just stream of consciousness, just write, just have some quiet time and just meditate. I love bringing these oracle cards as well with the water, the emotional body. So here are some prompts for journaling, oracle cards, or contemplation, or all three. So reflect back to the new moon in Virgo 2 weeks ago and what intentions you set for improving your daily life and health. And think about what progress have you made? How can you celebrate that? What goals do you need to adjust? What do you need to release? But celebrate any wins, no matter how small. Also think back to the start of the family, the lunar gestational family back in March of 2020. And think about what have you learned about your personal power, Aries the ram, versus the face of these massive seismic changes. We had no idea were coming and have completely upended our lives and society and are outside of our control. Think about how you have learned to surrender. How have you learned to release and let go? Yeah. Also think about how your belief system has changed from back then. Pisces rules is its I am statement is I believe. Think about how your beliefs have changed and what do you truly treasure in this life and how can you protect it? Okay, and these are the resources. On my website is the Setting Intentions with the Moon guide. So you can grab that. It has worksheets in it for this month and the last two. I'll be putting up the new one soon for the last quarter of the year, October, November, December, with the Libra, Scorpio, and Sag moons. Dietrich Pessin, this article she wrote, you can just Google article, Lunar Gestational Cycle. Moonology is a great book, and these other books as well. Lynda Hill's Sabian Symbol, Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler, and Rex E. Bill's Rulership book. And as always, I use Solar Fire software. So where can you find me? So I'm here on YouTube, obviously. You can go to my Astrology by Celeste website where you can sign up for readings, get moon phase guidance. I often send goodies to my subscribers. I send about 2 emails a month. That's it. So you will not be inundated with anything. You can join the wait list for my Moon Mastery program where I talk about deeply help people learn how to use the moon, understand their signature, understand how to ignite their lives with moving them forward with using the moon. You can also book a reading, an event, or a coaching program. As I mentioned, I have over 20 years in corporate for coaching. I can help coach and help you get your goals going. I'm on Instagram Live every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. and I had to move Monday to 11 a.m. So yes, on Sunday, I talk about more like the current astrology events and then pull 3 cards and talk about that, what's going on astrology wise. And on Monday, I pull a card for each of the zodiac signs. And then you end up with a 3-card reading. So Sunday's cards are for everyone, the 3, and Mondays you get a sun, moon, rising card so that you get a more tailored reading to yourself. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Sorry, it was low energy and spaced out to the max. And so anyway, have a wonderful Pisces new full moon, release and let go. And this is Astrology by Celeste signing off.